following podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Remember, the first rule of gambling responsibly is to bet with your head and not over it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cousin Vito's Casino Podcast proudly presents your guide to enjoying gambling. And now, direct from the bar, your cousin and mine, Cousin Vito!
Wow! Welcome everybody to Cousin Vito's Casino Podcast, your guide to enjoying gambling. I'm your host, Cousin Vito, and together, we're going to make luck happen at the casino. Thank you for checking out another 2021 episode, and I'd like to welcome back my buddy, my pal, the pulse of the New England gambling scene, Robin! Robin, it's great to have you back on the show.
Hey, I am just so psyched to be back here, and I understand you've been pretty busy. You've got quite a few irons on the fire here.
Oh, Robin, it's almost like I Love Lucy when they got the conveyor belt of the chocolate, and I'm just trying to stuff everything, get it packed. I'm putting it in my mouth, in my pockets. I got all sorts of stuff going on. We've had a couple of casino trips. Robin, I haven't seen you in a little bit. We had our own little casino trip we went on together.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago.
Yeah, that's how long it's been, so we're going to touch on that today. I also have another, we've been doing my whole thing here. Oh, we got the non-gambling enthusiast. We went with a couple bucks. Robin, this thing's catching on. It might be a new job for me. I had another buddy of mine come out of the woodwork and say, hey, I listened to the podcast. I'd love to go up, spend the night at Foxwoods, and do a little $200 gambling wine and dine session with me. So I have a trip report for that.
Hey, you'd be surprised at how many people want to just come along and be taught how to take $200 and make it into $2,000, by your friend, Cousin Vito. So you'd be surprised. This could be the beginning of something big.
Well, and the great thing, too, is the $200 price point's palatable to people. Because you go out, you take your girl out to dinner. That could be a $150 bill if you're getting some wine, you're getting the apps, you want a little tiramisu at the end. We're $200 to go out, and hey, you might walk away with that $200, so we're going to get a little more into that. But that isn't all, Robin. We're also going to jump into a little video poker because when we did our trip, and I did my other trip, I played a little video poker, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm getting addicted to the VP, Robin. I don't know if it's the little buttons, the sound it makes when you start making that money, watching you hit some big Ultimate X hits there. But I wanted to sit with you, and I wanted you to help me find a video poker game, that's right for me, and maybe help the listeners, get their feet wet in video poker. Because I played, but finally, after all these years, how long it's been, I'm craving a little VP.
Well, I'm glad to help you out. I've got some questions for you, and we'll try to find the best game for you.
Oh, I like this. My own personalized service here, Robin. And before we jump into the trip reports, I'm just going to shill some of the stuff I got going on that you kind of alluded to, Robin. If you check my show notes, I have a little T-shirt store at tpublic.com. I don't know what it is. You go to makeluckhappen.com, and you'll click the store. It'll get you the link there, or check the show notes. Robin, I got some gambling shirts. I got crap shirts, pie gout shirts. And I actually have some food-related shirts because that's another project I've been working on. I don't know if you're on that YouTube over there, but my buddy Big Lou on his channel, Big Lou Loves Food, we've been doing a little weekly show, Big Lou and Cousin Vito Eat. And we've been hitting drive-thrus, eating all sorts of terrible food together. And I got to tell you, I don't eat a lot of fast food. It really hasn't been a good ride for me. Fast food is not really that good sometimes.
Well, I got to tell you, I have watched a couple of those, and you and Lou have the right chemistry for degrading or reviewing good fast food. I mean, I found it very entertaining. I mean, you two guys really have a nice chemistry with that fast food thing. So
we spent
I recommend it.
A lot of nights on the road together. But we started out. We did the spicy chicken sandwiches. So if you haven't tried them, we did Popeyes, KFC, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. We hit all the big ones there that are around us up here in New England. And we have this is actually an exclusive here. We haven't released anything yet, Robin.
Ooh.
We're doing most expensive breakfast sandwiches. So we're going to the drive-thru, scouring the menu, and we're trying the most expensive breakfast sandwiches at all the drive-thru joints. And boy, it really, well, you're gonna have to wait and see it to believe it, but it's been like a horror movie out there at these fast food restaurants, for a bougie Dave Burke guy like myself.
Well, I hope you guys pace yourself. I mean, I don't want to, see you 50 pounds heavier in a couple of months just because of all the junk that you're taking in. So, careful.
Well,
Careful
luckily,
with that.
once a week, and we've been splitting the sandwich. I bring the cutting board, the knife to the car, so it's nothing worse than I'm normally doing to myself. Let's put it that way. I'm not going outside the boundaries I live on right now to fulfill this YouTube food reviewer dream we're living here.
Yeah, I really like it because you do it all in the car, and it's people have just got to check it out. Really, it's really entertaining. It's a lot of fun.
And speaking of checking me out, Robin, this weekend, this coming Saturday and Sunday, I'm back on the road with the wrestling, Robin. Me and Mr. Northeast Wrestling, Brian Anthony, we're taking on WWE Hall of Famer Jerry Lawler next Sunday at Six Flags, New Jersey. Head to northeastwrestling.com. Check that out. And, Robin, I'm fighting at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center at WrestleFest for Northeast Wrestling. We're taking on Matt Hardy, former WWE multi-time tag team champion, one of the greatest of the 2000s and maybe even the 90s a little here. So I'm jam-packed, and I'm ready to, I got my leather gloves, my rope. I'm going to choke this guy out. We need some victories this weekend.
Hey, didn't I see you the last time you did this? You had some sort of a neck brace. I mean, this is kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yes, I did. I did get. I was waffled by Jerry the King Lawler a couple times. I was a neck brace, but I've recovered from the neck brace, Robin, and now I'm back, and I'm badder than ever. I got my new suit, my new hat, and I'm ready to rock and roll. And you know what? We're gonna take the wrestling world by storm this weekend. I feel like so. That's my life, basically. And I got a baby here, so throw him into the mix. It's really like an all-you-can-eat buffet of we have international cuisines in this house, from the wrestling to the gambling to the T-shirts to the baby. And I've been watching, I was watching a little Different Strokes this morning too, having a little laugh with that too.
Oh yeah, it's like and by the way, I have a son and I have a wife, and it's like you're juggling your life through here. So.
Juggling is the way to do it, especially this, Robin. We've been trying to record for a while here, and where are we? Normally, it'll be a Tuesday night. I'll have the cocktail. We'll be ready to rock and roll. We're two old maids. It's like it's a Saturday morning here. We got our iced coffees, and we're sitting here talking about the casino, which, weirdly, some of my best times at the casino are with those iced coffees in the morning.
And by the way, this can't go very long because we do have our naps to take.
Yeah, naps are coming up. I'm me, my wife, and Sonny were meeting up with some people at a brewery. So who's better than that kid? He's gonna be at the brewery this afternoon. So hopefully he has a good time there. I don't know. My wife booked it, so I figure it must be appropriate to bring a kid to a brewery. I don't know. She's my booking manager for baby stuff, and I just go along with my schedule.
Yeah, well, they probably won't card them, so you don't have to worry about it.
That's true, yeah. Babies drink free at the brewery we're going to, maybe. All right. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee here. You can hear the ice. It's not scotch, guys. I'm sorry, but... So, Robin, before we jump into this trip report, I wanted you to know if you could help me with some video poker.
Sure.
All right, Here we go, Robin. And I made this little segment drop just for you.
Help me, Robin, help me, Robin. Help me, Robin, help me, Robin. Help me, Robin. Play some video poker.
All right, Robin, that's right. From the beaches of San Francisco to the woods of Mashantucket here.
Thank you very much. That was awesome.
I need your help, Robin, because video poker, it's simple. You go online, it's easy. There's a million resources for it. You could go to VP2 free. You know the website. What is it there to find the best video poker pay tables?
VP free 2.
VP Free 2. We'll put it in the show notes, hopefully, if I remember to do that. Let me talk to my producer. Hold on. I'm holding up a mirror here. That's me. So hopefully I get that in the show notes there. But I'm going to we'll go into a quick story of my relationship, and most people's relationship with video poker. You see the video poker machine at the bar. You say, I'd like to sit down, and if you play, you get a free cocktail. So, okay, I'll sit down. I'll pick a game. I'll play. Probably jacks are better. But then I say, hey, look at more games. There's jacks are better. Bonus, double doopy deepy bonus, ultimate X. There's a million different ways to play, Robin. And for a novice, you sit down and you say, what do I do? And most people, you hopefully gear towards the jacks are better and realize that's probably the simplest one to play. Then the Deuces Wild, you say, I want a little more action. I'll get some wild cards in here. We'll have some deuces. I got 4 wilds in a deck. That's fun. And then there's even more games and more different pay tables, Robin. So I'm going to toss over to you a little bit, and let's start at the beginning here. I'm a novice player. I'm going to play a video poker game. First things first.
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't have any background in the double dippy do video poker thing, so we won't cover that game today. If you're just starting out, Jacks the Better is the easiest game. It's got the shortest correct strategy. It's the easiest to learn. The only problem I have with it is that after you've been playing video poker for years and years, it's a tad boring for me.
Okay, so we're looking at the Jacks Are Better. It's basic. This is missionary style video poker. You have your 52 card deck. You're making Jacks Are Better just like the name of the game here.
I don't believe you called it missionary. Okay, well, this is gonna be.
It's gonna be that type of episode, Robin. It's my iced coffee's kicking in, I guess.
We're gonna be off the rails soon. All right. So yeah, that is, that, and also bonus poker. Bonus poker is same thing. You get 2 to 1 for 2 pair, but in the same vein, you also have a higher payout for 2, 3, 4s for quads and aces for quads. So it's a nice game. When we go out to Vegas and we stay at Red Rock in Summerlin, away from the Strip, they've got tons of full pay bonus poker, which would be 8-5. And for those people who aren't used to the lingo, if it's an 8-5 game, that means that 8 to 1 for the for the full house, and then 5 for the flush. And Jacks the Better Perfect would be 9 to 1 for the full house, and 6 for the flush.
Okay, so yeah, you hear that and you read that a 9-6. We're looking for 9-6 machines when you're scouring the machine, and that's what the 9-6 refers to people.
Right.
Now,
and
I don't mean to cut you off, Robin, but one thing I always worry about is variance. Now, when we talk about Jacks Are Better, I'm assuming that because it's in the loosest way, the boringest of all the video pokers we're talking about here, it must have the lowest variance. If you find that 9-6 machine, you buy them with your money, you'll stay there probably the longest period of time.
Yeah, unless you hit the big one, the Royal Flush, it's the kind of game that will keep you playing for quite a while. Low variance games like that, and also bonus poker, which basically you can tell if it's a low variance video poker game by just looking at do you get 2 to 1 on a 2 pair. As the variance gets worse and worse, or more and more, I guess you can say, that's when they start adding to the quad payoffs, but taking away in other places. Like, for example, most of the bonus, double bonus, double bonus, triple double bonus, those kind of variations of the game, you will see great payouts, but the variation is very high because they start to cut down on the only 1 to 1 for 2 pair. Triple double bonus cuts down the 3 to 2 for 3 of a kind. So there's always a check and balance with the video poker machine. It's pay tables that you got to check, and mathematically, it comes out the way that they want over a long period of time.
You would imagine that. Huh? Who would have thought the way that they want it comes out? So as like a little, this is a Cosby show, but the Cliff Notes. But on the Cosby show, Theo used to call them the Cleveland Notes when he used to cheat on his English assignment. So the Cleveland Notes version of this for me is when you're without a calculator, without going online, if you're just sitting down to have a good time at a video poker machine, you look at the pay tables. If you're seeing Jacks Are Betters paying out and you're looking at the payouts for the 2 pair and 3 of a kind, once you see that 2 pair go 1 to 1, you start to say, okay, this variance is getting a little bit against me for staying here a while, but more for I have more chances at a higher jackpot here.
Right. So the variance basically means you have a chance to make more, but you will probably be there for less amount of time, unless if you don't hit something big.
Okay, so now we're gonna do quiz show style here because we didn't prepare. I didn't give you any questions I was gonna ask you. So hopefully you got this information on the tip of your tongue here. So
I'm ready.
Jacks are better. We get it. You play. You got to make a pair of jacks are better. The best hands usually always that royal flush, and that's going to pay you on a 25-cent game. You're going to play $1.25 a hand, and that'll pay you $1,000 if you get the best hand in the game.
Right.
All right. So I'm understanding that right. Then we go to a Deuces Wild. Now we kind of talked about the Deuces Wild, but Deuces Wild, it's generally you're playing a similar strategy to a jacks or better, but you want to keep your twos all the time, basically. And I'm going to assume without the pay tables in front of me that we would notice that the variance is going to change because you're going to see at the bottom that some of the pays are going to be different in a Deuces Wild because there has to be some sort of advantage to having those wild cards.
Yes, but you have to consider Deuces Wild just a completely different game from jacks or better. If you play the same type of strategy as jacks or better, you will find that it won't make much sense, and you will lose rather quickly. For example, if
that explains a lot. That explains my Deuces Wild.
Is it really?
Well.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I just keep the twos sometimes. I'm like, give me twos.
Yeah, well, if you've got a pair in Deuces Wild, and you also at the same hand you have 3 to the flush or 4 to the flush, you'll still keep the pair because the pairs 4 of a kind in Deuces Wild are more important. They pay a little bit more. So the strategy is different, and I find Deuces just not as exciting as Double Bonus, which is my favorite game. But some people swear by the game. The only problem is that most casinos you won't find a full pay Deuces Wild, and in New England you will find that Deuces Wild is really shorted the most of any of the games. It's hard to find a good Deuces Wild pay table. So, yeah.
And that could be maybe that's because it is the easiest of the entry level video pokers. While jacks are better is the least variance, the simplest game. As somebody who was a novice for many years, you'd play jacks or better, be like, this is getting a little boring. Let's do the deuces. And there's probably a lower win percentage on that deuces because of the pay tables.
Well, yeah. But, like anything else in video poker, it's not about the game that you play. You have to know the game and be accurate with your strategy. So if you're playing jacks or better with an accurate, perfect strategy, and then you switch to deuces, but you have no idea, and you're just going by, your gut, well, you can get lucky and get 4 deuces, or you can play very quickly and then, ask for another drink and go home.
Were you watching me at the casino last time I went, Robin? This is like a replay of many of my trips to the video poker bar. But recently, I was actually playing, I believe, I sent you a picture of it. I actually had a good video poker run after we played together. You had a couple of big hits. You were playing some Ultimate X. Now, this is going to really get confusing here, but the Ultimate X, that's basically a variant that could be put on all these different types of games, correct?
Correct.
And
usually if you play these multiple hand games, you still play the same strategy. Like if you were to play jacks or better on a triple play or Ultimate X, you go by the same strategy. Unfortunately, there are some games that you need a completely different strategy with, and I play double bonus, which means 1-to-1 for 2 pairs. But at the same time, if you get 4 aces with a kicker, it's 2,000 credits. So it's a little different. Well, with Ultimate X, and if anyone has played Ultimate X, for those who haven't, Ultimate X gives you a multiplier for every paid hand. So, for example, if you have a pair, like a jacks or better pair, you will get the next hand on that particular hand, you will get 2 times whatever comes up. So because of the multipliers, things change. And I'll just give you one big difference is that, if you get 2 aces in double bonus when you're playing single line or just regular, you would keep if you had 2 aces and another pair, you'd keep the 2 aces.
Okay.
But in Ultimate X, you keep the aces and you keep the pair because you're looking forward to getting that 3 times multiplier the next time around for all your hands. So you really have to know the game.
Okay.
Did that make any sense to you?
No, that does make sense to me. And basically, and because the Ultimate X, you're paying a little extra money for that multiplier, though. That's where they get you, is that it seems too good to be true when we describe it like this, but really, you pay a premium for that Ultimate X multiplier. That really it can enhance the excitement. Because when we were playing next to each other, Robin, I think that you playing a double bonus Ultimate X, I believe.
Yep. And I was playing nickels because, it helps bide the time, and it's also it's fun. It's a fun game. It's a volatile game, but I have fun, especially playing nickels on it. But yeah, I love Ultimate X. It's exciting. It's just a very exciting. Matter of fact, 3 weeks ago I played at MGM one Friday morning, hit a hand pay. And then the following day, I hit 2 hand pays at Mohegan Sun. So,
wow. And what were you denomination? Were you betting? How many hands were you playing to hit these hand pays?
Oh well,
I'll have your wife turn the show off now, please.
I would not suggest this because this is like volatility on top of volatility. But
double bonus with the Ultimate X on top with a side of decaf coffee on the video poker table there.
What I have been doing of late, which I find that I've been able to get earn tier credits at Mohegan Sun quicker because any of you who played video poker, that you can't earn as many points as slot machines or table games. You expect to hit maybe a third of those particular points. But what I'm playing now, I hate to even say this. Don't do this. Don't follow my suggestion here. But I've been playing triple play, Ultimate X, quarter level, which means I'm playing a little over $7 a hand, and double bonus on that. So triple play, Ultimate X with double bonus. And if you hit for 4 aces, and a kicker, which is what I did, with just a 3 or 4 times multiplier, it's over $2,000. I mean, not $2,000. It's over 2,000. Yeah, it's over $2,000. That's right. So I was pretty lucky. I tried it, but it has helped me earn enough points so that I'm for the first time approaching ascend at Mohegan Sun. So wow. I'm going to stick with it.
All through video poker.
Yes, that's the thing. I don't play video poker much anymore, if I'm especially on, triple points days or stuff like that. But this has really worked out in the last month or so.
All right. So we were talking before. Jacks or better is the missionary. What you're playing is like going to Sherry's brothel for the weekend out in Nevada, where you got the double bonus, the Ultimate X. You're getting hand pays here left and right. Because me, Robin, I haven't even had a true royal flush. And I played tens of thousands of hands of video poker in my gambling novice career at the video poker. So I'm still seeking the royal, but I've already graduated. I think I'm a double bonus guy now too, because as we get into my trip report, I was on a machine and it was broken. I couldn't switch out of it. And I had to have you do the reconnaissance on what I was even playing because I couldn't see.
Yeah, this was at Foxwoods, you said?
That was Foxwoods at the Central Bar.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep.
We believe it was a double bonus or double bonus or loopy-doopy bonus.
Yeah. No, it was a double bonus. I looked at the screen and, yeah. I mean, it's a great game, but you can lose your money real quickly.
Yeah, well, the first thing I did notice, because I couldn't switch out of the game, was I was like, 2 pair. I got a couple 2 pairs. Then I'm like, what's going on? I'm just winning my money back. And then you say, okay, all right. And then you start looking up the pay table and you say, okay, 4 aces pays a lot. 4 aces with the 2, 3, 4 pays a lot. And I forget the other little nuances of that one, but I could see how once you play regular jacks or better, that you slowly migrate to these other games because that royal flush is hard to get. Not that the 4 of a kind isn't hard to get, but the royal flush, when you're playing jacks or better, that's really, as a gambler, especially if you can go play a slot machine where you can win $1 million on a spin, really, that royal is the one thing that gives you juice on a quarter machine there, because what's the next highest payout on the jacks or better? A 4 of a kind, I believe.
No, straight flush.
Straight. Oh yeah, that's right. The straight flush. And I'm quizzing you here. What's the normal payout for a straight flush?
250. If you're talking about jacks or better, it's also 250 for most of the jacks or better based poker games. So,
and you can imagine, I don't have the math in front of me, how hard it is to get a straight flush, to only win, not to say only win, but 250 quarters. It's not exactly like you're going for a steak dinner, and that's a hard hand to hit as a straight flush.
Yeah, it's not as hard as you think. And if you're playing the correct strategy, you'll find that you can get a lot more than what is expected. But again, you got to know the strategy.
All right.
It's not how fast you play or how how you think it might be. There's a mathematical strategy, and I strongly suggest that if anybody I had these questions for you. I was going to ask you like what kind of a bankroll you had.
Oh well, let's do it. Well, I'm down. Hit me up here.
Okay. All right. Then what kind of bankroll are you playing for this session that you want to play?
All right. So what I'm going to do typical. So this is kind of a sneak preview of my trip report. I'm in the room hanging out. You know what? I'm going to go down to the video poker bar. I'm going to get a cocktail or two. What I'll do is I'll buy in with and obviously you're going to send me to the least variance game for what I tell you, but let's say I just put in $200 and all I need is a cocktail or two. I just want to hang out, have a good time.
Okay. Now, if you're a newbie or if you haven't played a lot of perfect strategy video poker, the bankroll that one is supposed to bring, and I got to tell you, I've never done this. I mean, I don't spend this money.
Let me get my wallet ready.
Yeah, exactly. It's 4 times the highest pay. So that's $1,000 on the royal. So to essentially break even correctly, you need 4,000 for your bankroll.
So my bankroll, I need a machine that the royal pays $50.
I think maybe like a penny machine, but they don't have them, so don't worry about it. No, I mean I never bring that much either. I may bring 5 or maybe 1,000 on an important strategy like multiply a day, but that's first thing. So $200, you're a little bit strapped. In terms of so you definitely need to play jacks better.
Jacks, or I'm looking at the least quarter denomination, probably single line, or you do nickel. You could do 3 line. I want my bet, because if I have $200, you're gonna want your bet you're playing on the game to be a low bet, so you at least get the maximum amount of hands played. You get a couple cocktails before you lose all the money. Not to sound like I'm a born loser here, but to prepare for it. You do the math like that, where if I'm playing like the Ultimate X, where I'm at $750 a hand here, and there's a high variance, I might only play however many hands are in my $200 and not win a thing, and get out of there and barely get my drink, and have a $200 Jack and Coke or whatever.
Yeah, so if you preferred some more volatile games, then I would suggest finding one of the All-Star games, which lists all sorts of different video poker, as well as it has slots and Keno and all that kind of stuff. And I would play nickels. I mean, if you're not interested in you're earning status through video poker, which takes tons of time and money, then I would play for fun, and then you can probably try Ultimate X or just try triple play at nickels, and you're pretty much playing the same amount as you would with a single line jacks or better. But it could be just more fun. So
okay, I like that. So if you're feeling like the money's going quick, if you're on one of the machines, you could dial that denomination down, go down to the nickel. You could play a lot of lines, because sometimes that's what I'll do. It's fun to play the one line with the quarter, and it's $1.25. You could get a little risky, do one line with $1, where it's $5 a hand. Mm-hmm. Or you dial it down. You could do three hands, 4 hands, or 3 hands, 5 hands, or 10 hands. And there's even like 100-hand machines out there that I've dabbled on. They haven't been on the bar tops, but they have them floating around a little bit if you look for them.
Yeah. You won't find the 100 hand in New England. You probably could find it in Atlantic City, but that's a lot of fun. I would strongly suggest people check out videopoker.com, because you can actually play for free. Or you can get training sessions, or what they call a pro subscription, where it'll track your mistakes. You can play the mistakes back and forth. I mean, it's an amazing website, and I would strongly suggest that if you're serious enough to practice. If you're not, it's no big deal, you know.
Well, and for those slackers like me, one thing I'll do sometimes at the bar top, Robin, and I do this in my trip report, is on your phone. There's video poker calculators out there where, let's say you have one of those hands where you're like, oh, do I go for the royal? Should I keep this pair? Or there's some sort of situation where you just don't know which direction to go.
Yeah.
You open up one of the video poker calculators. I don't even know which one I used last trip. I just searched it online. But those are very helpful because you could put in, all right, here's my hands, here's the suits, and it'll tell you exactly the perfect strategy to play that hand where, especially if you're playing a high variance game where you need the 4 aces or there's something going on, there's wilds, you got an ultimate X thing happening. And you can take a break, go on your calculator, sip your cocktail, and play the game right instead of rushing through and not really enjoying those. Because sometimes that's the fun of it, is when you get that, you're one away from the royal and you got to hit that deal button. And you're like, here we go. Let me have a little sip of the Macallan here, and we'll hit the deal button.
Yep, and of course it's even the most fun I find when hitting the higher paying parts of the pay table is when I'm not really expecting it. Like when you hold an ace and then you get 4 and 3 more and a kicker. I mean, those are the really fun times as far as I'm concerned. And people really try to rush getting the royal flush. I mean, it's not as much of a big deal as people put it out to be. I mean, it comes out a little over 43,000 hands each royal. I mean, on the average. I mean, why place so much weight on something that is so tough to get? So
Robin, I want my royal. When I get my royal, I'm going to have the bartender taking pictures of me at the machine. I'm going to have all sorts of exciting stuff go down because I'm waiting on that royal. I'm one of these people we're talking about here. I want that royal. I want to take the picture. I got the phone. I'm one away from the royal. That's the closest I've been, one away from the royal. I might have had where I drew to the royal and I got a royal straight, but not the flush. So I've had some close calls, but it's elusive. It's like I'm seeking the royal, Robin. I'm one of these crazed zombies out there. I want that royal.
Well, you just got to remember 2 things. One, that 4 to a royal that you end up with is just another loss on the machine. It's the same thing as having nothing matching. It's just another loss. The other thing is that if you want really seriously to try to get that royal, play nickels multi-hand. Give yourself a chance to have more chances to get that royal, and without it having you cost so much. So, a royal is a royal. If you get a royal and you're only playing nickels, it's still your royal. So I strongly suggest playing smaller denomination if it really means that much to you to get it first.
All right. So in summation of this for me, but also video poker aspiring players,
we covered a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, hopefully it was easy. A little, hopefully if people followed it a little bit here. But basically, we're looking at it where if you're going to start playing and you don't want to lose a lot of money, start simple. Play some jacks or better. Learn basic strategy. You can play a single line at a quarter level. You can play at a nickel level, multi-line if you want. Use online resources. Go to the VP2free.com. What is it? VPfree2.com?
VPfree2.
The number 2. VPfree2.com. That'll give you all casinos all over with the machines with the best pay tables on them. I always love heading over to the wizardofodds.com. He has all sorts of different game strategies, different game types. It's really all inclusive there. You could have the video. I was going to
suggest that, yeah.
Videopoker.com has training stuff you could sign up for. You can play for free on there if you just want to, get your rocks off playing at home, getting used to it. So when you go to the casino, it's not like you're crazed to go play. And basically, it's like a lot of things. You do your homework. You're not going to sit down there and win $1 million. You got to spend $1 million to win $1 million, and you're not going to get the greatest comps in the world, but you're going to get a free cocktail, and hopefully you go play with some people at the machine next to you, and you have some laughs, and maybe one of you lucks out, and you make a little money for dinner that night.
Yeah. Video poker, you really need to have fun while you're playing video poker. If it's a job, then you're in a totally different different level. That basically you have newbies and you have people who play it for recreational. And basically, I'm recreational. I do some studying, true, but you got to have fun with it, like any other game at the casino. You just got to have fun with it.
All right, yeah, and I love having fun at the casino. And speaking of that, Robin, I think we'll go right out of this video poker talk, and you want to go into a little trip report. I went to Foxwood, stayed at the Fox Tower for the first time in a very long time, and I got some interesting little tidbits here, not just some fun gambling stuff, but I got some developments at the bar, some developments at the restaurants to talk about. Are you ready for a trip report?
I am ready.
Here we go.
Trip reports. Yeah.
All right, Robin. There's one of my favorite things about this show is reliving my trips and the different trips we go on over the years. So I recently had one. I went with my friend. We're going to call him Patty Peanuts. We were good old friends. He listened to one of my recent podcasts where I went up to the casino with a non-gambling enthusiast and tried to win him over with a limited bankroll. And Robin, he liked this idea. He loved it. He said, you know what can we go up $200 bankroll for food and gambling? Can you make it happen? And I took it as a challenge, Robin, because $200 for eating and gambling, that could go fast if you're not smart about it.
Yes, yeah, but it's great that you're actually offering this particular service. I mean, this could really work out. People want to know, how to go to the casino and have fun, but not play all their money in like 10 minutes. So this is great. Tell me more.
So. I'll start from the beginning of the trip report. I could do a little Pulp Fiction here and spoil some of the stuff that we did. Well, I won't do that. We'll start from the beginning here. So, Foxwood's Fox Tower. I park in the garage, not sure if the valet is open yet. Check-in was fairly smooth, not a lot of people there. Went up to my room. My room smelled nice and clean, which I got to say I was a little nervous, Robin, because Fox Tower was the MGM Grand Tower, I believe, before whatever happened with that. But it's becoming an older hotel. There have been times I've been there, it felt a little run down in the rooms. And coming off COVID, you always have to be cautious when you go to stay in hotels because a lot of them haven't had guests in a while. Sometimes, when you read reviews I was going to stay at a Marriott recently and in Mystic before our trip. And, there were some reviews that the hotels haven't been kept up during the shutdown. The rooms weren't really fresh. So going to the Fox Tower, I've stayed at the Cedar recently. I stayed at the Pequot. To stay at the Fox Tower is a little nervous, especially because my favorite Italian restaurant isn't open anymore. Alta Strada, Robin. I walked by, I had a little tear roll down my cheek.
Oh, well, and doesn't Fox Tower, they're only open Thursday through Sunday or something like that, aren't they? I mean, they're not the hotel is not open the entire week.
I believe you're correct, but sometimes when I go to take the rooms, I think it might be an occupancy thing where if the Pequot fills up, they might open up rooms at the Fox Tower because I feel like I have different times when I go on my my little rewards thing, and then the rooms will open up for me on different nights.
I think you are correct, sir.
So went to the Fox Tower, and actually, good news, Alta Strada is reopening. I just saw it online either last night or today, so I can get my prosciutto and arugula pizza, Robin. I could get my fresh ragout, get my spicy veal meatballs again, hopefully. We'll see if the menu changes, but Fox Tower used to be my go-to because I go to Alta Strada, have a nice Peroni beer and some Italian cuisine. I got your mouth watering there a little bit.
I'm sorry. I just was thinking of the prosciutto on the pizza, and my mind was just. I haven't had lunch yet, so my stomach started.
Believe
talking.
me, you're going to be starving by the end of this trip report because we wined and dined. That's for sure. So I'm in the room. I'm hanging out, twiddling my thumbs, and the pool's open. I'm looking out the Fox Tower window. I could see the people in the pool sunbathing, playing Marco Polo down there. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but they were having a good time. So I was getting jealous. My buddy's on his way. He says, he's like an hour out, and I'm hanging in the room. Then I'm like, well, he said it a half hour ago. Let me go down. I'll get my rewards card, which of course I forgot at home in my shoebox of 2,000 rewards cards. So I went and got a new rewards card. I said, you know what? I was inspired after our trip, Robin. I saw you had some good times when you had some wins in the video poker. And I went to the Fox Central Bar on the Fox Tower floor. I found there was a video poker machine. Mysteriously, they're all filled and there was one open. So I go to play it, Robin. I go to switch games. The screen doesn't work. Like it was working barely. One of those things where like some of it kind of works, other parts of it don't work. And there was really no rhyme or reason because sometimes you could figure out, the touch screen's like a little off. and you can move your
Yeah.
finger and it works.
Yeah.
Not so on this thing. It was like half the screen was dead. This is how I ended up playing the double bonus poker, Robin. So,
Yeah, so let me get this straight. So there were some spots that even when you touched it, it just didn't react at all.
it didn't react because I was able to go to change games. But when I went to change games, I would touch the screen all over and nothing would happen. And then right when I got to the very tippy top, it would go into the bonus poker. And I couldn't I was trying, I couldn't figure out how to bet. Like none of the bet buttons worked. So there was something wrong with the bottom part of the screen. I had to use all the regular buttons, like the manual buttons, the hardware buttons, not the screen buttons. The whole time I played.
That's good. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that you can change the game, rotate around, go to a different, all with those the buttons what you use to draw, and you can get around just by using those buttons at all. So that was smart that you actually knew that.
Well, actually, you think I'm smarter than I am. I didn't realize that. I was just stuck in bonus poker, but I figured I could hold my cards and deal. So I didn't even. I just stayed in the bonus poker. I didn't get that far. I was like, whatever. I'm sitting here for 20 minutes. Let me get a scotch here. And I got some bad news, Robin. So I said, "Oh, hey, can I have a scotch?" You know what the guy said back to me? At the bar, the video poker bar, money in. I'm playing on the video poker bar. You know what the bartender said?
What?
That'll be $1. And I said, $1?
$1?
I said, $1. I was like, all right. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's $1 for the anything on the rocks, but if you mix drink, it's free. So I'm like, all right. And
what?
Then I'm really curveball. I'm gin and tonic. So I wasn't, not angry. I'm a little bit, my eyebrow raised, and I say, what the hell is going on here? A Foxwoods $1 for a scotch on the rocks. It wasn't like I said I want, a high-end scotch or something. I would have took the house scotch, the Dewar's scotch, whatever the house was.
Yeah. And you had already been playing a while.
Already playing. It was nothing to do with my play level at all, because I ended up talking to the lady next to me, and because she said something, I was like, what? I was like, $1 for this. She's like, oh, yeah. So it turns out we bring the bartender over. The lady next to me was really, talkative, I guess. I opened up a whole can of worms. Sometimes that happens. You're there and you're like, oh, hey. And then it's like, oh, boy, here we go. We're going to be talking the whole time now. So it turns out the comp drinks at this Fox Central bar, and let me see, I'm going to bring my phone up because I actually took actual notes on this, because this is what the people want to hear, Robin. So $1 upcharge on a rocks drink is, so they have a $12 limit on a comp drink now at the video poker bar. So they upped the prices of the rocks drinks. So the Dewar's on the rocks, or the house scotch, whatever it was on the rocks, it would normally be a $13 drink if you just get it there normally. But because I was playing poker, video poker, I got a basically $12 free drink, and now the base drink is more expensive than the free drink, and that's why it was $1.
I wonder if it's that way for all the video poker bars, or if it's because Central is that area in Foxwoods that really attracts the younger crowd with their they have the comedy there, and I'm just hoping it's just there. But either way, that's just bad. That is just that's horrible.
And I did try to pick the bartender's brain about, well, is this everywhere? Is this here?
Yeah.
And you know what? He said it was everywhere, but I just didn't feel confident in his response. So I can't tell you that's the way it is, because I feel like because I was like, so if I go to the craps table, they're going to want $1 for a scotch on the rocks if I'm at the craps table. And he said he thinks so, but again, we're at the Fox Tower. The craps table's not even open there at all. So I don't know if it was a Fox Tower. I was getting my beverages at Pie Gow later with no upcharge. So yeah, I know that, and I was having all sorts of fun stuff at the Pie Gow table. So something to be aware of, not weary of. I mean, it's $1, but I'd rather get the mixed drink and give the extra $1 to the bartender. To be honest, that's basically what happened. Is I was like, give me a gin and tonic. And I was planning on tipping him $2 anyway per drink. So instead of paying $1 for the drink and $1 for his tip, I said, you know what? It'll be a gin and tonic preseason here. So I had a gin and tonic. So I was only going to have one, Robin. I was going to have one gin and tonic. I didn't even want to have it because I wanted to break the wine and dining seal when my buddy got there.
It's so disappointing. I mean, I don't know if you remember that about 5 years ago in Las Vegas, they started putting in this system where it would keep track of how much money through. And then a green light would come on that would say, oh, okay, you can order another drink for free now. This is just an example of just tightening up even more on video poker players. I mean, it wouldn't be bad if they had good pay tables, but they're crappy pay tables too. So I just think it's bad business as far as I'm concerned.
And one bright spot in all this was the lady next to me was a big Grey Goose lady, right? Loved the Grey Goose. But what she was saying was, she was like, you know what I do? I come here and I don't want the house stuff anyway, so I'll order a double of Grey Goose. And I guess what they would charge her maybe if the drink's free for $12, she was saying she could give a $5 bill and she gets her double of Grey Goose because of whatever the price on it is. So the way she was working it was she was looking at it as, even though that the house drinks, you have a $1 upcharge on them now because they're over the threshold, if you splurge a little more to get the kind you want, it's not a huge upcharge. And if you're saying, you're getting if you love Grey Goose or you love a certain type of scotch or whiskey, it is economical compared to going to a regular bar and getting a drink. So she kind of tried to sell me on, it stinks, but the way she does it, she gets her, she was really taking them down too. She was enjoying her Grey Goose doubles, but she wasn't paying a premium. And she's like, if I sit here and have, 3 or 4 Grey Goose doubles and pay $20, who's better than me? And I said, you know what? I could look at it like that too, I guess. I can live with that.
Well, it's great that she figured that out, but the bottom line is it's just another example of
it's a bummer.
It's absolutely. I mean, it's another example of shortchanging the clientele to try to make a buck. I mean, geez.
No, well, especially the Scotch on the rocks. I took the house Scotch. They could have had the cheapest Scotch in the world. I would have just shot it down, slugged it down. So I don't know what their house was. I'm assuming it's a Dewar's, but very disappointing. But something that wasn't disappointing, Robin. So I was playing my double bonus here. I don't know the strategy that you would normally play, but I could surmise looking at the pay tables. And then, sometimes you could bring out the calculator in your head. You'll say, all right, if I keep this, there's 3 ways I could win. If I keep this, there's 5 ways I could win. And the payout for the 5 is higher than the 3 ways. So sometimes you can do the math in your head and say, all right, this is a smart decision here. So I had a hand I didn't need to make a decision, Robin. The odds on this happening, I don't know, because I've never had it happen to me. I had 4 aces dealt to me, not even on the draw, dealt flat out.
That is awesome.
So I'm sitting here sipping my gin and tonic. I'm like, ooh, my 4. I was waiting for 4 aces, thinking I'm going to maybe draw to it. So I had 4 aces off the rip, and I believe my kicker was a face card. So I knew I'm going to have to keep my 4 aces, and we're going to draw to get the 2, 3, 4.
Exactly. That's the right play.
So and this is, my buddy wasn't even here yet. He was parking in the parking garage. So I was like, oh, this is already a good start. So what I did to prolong the time, I got everything all set up. I took my little picture. I finished my gin and tonic, and I get the bartender down. I'm like, you know what? Give me one more gin and tonic. You know what I mean? So he comes over. He's getting ready, and I kind of got him involved in here. I'm like, I'm hitting the button, Hit the button. Didn't get the 2, but I still won. I believe it was $200 total. So I don't know if it was 800 quarters, maybe, if that's still $200 bucks. I won a $200. So I won my whole bankroll for the trip. It was supposed to be $200. So I'm like sitting there high on the hog here. I'm like, oh my God, $200 right off the bat.
That's the way it should be every time, don't you think?
It really, honestly, I couldn't. And you know what? It was the beginning of the trip. My buddy was just walking up. My machine's going, doing all the adding all the stuff up. So I'm hot here, Robin. I come in. Up $200 right off the rip. I had 2 free cocktails, gin and tonics, which, they were still free. So a gin and tonic, I'll take it, I guess. Go up to the room. So now we're back. Now we're back onto the $200 trip report here. I'm going to try and keep it tight here because we're almost at 50 minutes here. Oh, boy.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah, time flies when you're talking video poker. So,
yeah.
Head up to the room. My buddy said, "Okay, I'll bring the whiskey for us." He brought Granddad 114 proof, Robin. I was like, "What do you want to kill us here tonight? 114? Oh my God! Let me have like a little tiny. I don't even know what to do here." So we had a couple of 114s, and needless to say, we're ready to rock and roll now. So we hit the floor. We play a little at the Fox Tower, and we say, "You know what? Let's go for a walk to the Pequot side." And secret passageway, Robin. We go through the, you probably know how Fox was set up. Instead of going up by the Red Lantern and taking, the walkway by the ice cream place up, we went by the little convention center under there, We did
Right.
underground routine, the subway style, up to the escalators to pass all the people. You know, it was a Thursday. Well, it was a Friday night, but it was a lot of slow walkers ahead of us that were going onto the escalator. So we said, you know what? Let's just do this. I like walking the casino like I'm on the highway going 90 miles an hour, passing people, riding people, getting around them. So we get to the Pequot side, and I say, you know what? We'll do what we normally do. We'll go to a drink door, and we'll get a cocktail. We'll play a slot machine. So I go to one of my favorite Pequot drink doors, Robin, and we're waiting for a cocktail waitress to come back with some stuff on her tray. You know, normal stuff here so far. The one's coming back with a big tray full. You know, I give her the nod. I'm like, oh, I have a cocktail. You know what she says, Robin? No.
Unbelievable.
She looks at me and says no. So my buddy looks at me and he's like, what did she say? I was like, I've never seen this before. A cocktail waitress with a full tray said no. I mean, I got cash hanging out of my pockets. I was going to tip her $5 for 2 drinks. No, wouldn't help me. I couldn't believe it. So I was there. I had cocktail waitresses whizzing by me. It was like I was invisible on the floor. So, needless to say, we didn't put a lot in the slots.
Jeez.
We said, you know what? We played a tiny bit. We did a couple of casino strolls. You know, we were in and out of some slots. We basically were even. We said, you know, let's go down to Dave Burke, have a nice little cocktail, and have maybe an appetizer. So this is where there's a caveat to my $200, Robin. I had some rewards points on there. So I told my buddy, I said, I got a surprise for you here. We're going down to this fancy restaurant because he was like, let's get some quick food because he didn't want to lose his bankroll on the food. So I said, look, this is a casino trip. I'm just going to show you what's great about the casino. We're going to go to Dave Burke. Let's get a cocktail menu. We'll each get a nice cocktail, and we'll split an appetizer and relax, have a cocktail and an app, and just, have some jokes, talk to the bartender, have some fun. So we did it. We each did like these high-end Manhattans, Robin, and we did a shrimp cocktail. So we did two gentlemen with cocktails and cocktail. And we sat there, we ate our jumbo shrimp. We actually added an extra one because it comes with 3. And the guy was like, you guys want me to add upcharge for a 4th shrimp on there? So got to split the last one. And, we thought about, am I going to get the butter knife and cut the shrimp in half? Nah, we'll get upcharge it. We'll get the last one. So we had a nice shrimp cocktail, had our nice beverages. And then we said, you know what? I have, as you know, you try to tear up. I had the lounge access for the night. So I said, look, let's go see what's in the lounge food-wise. Maybe we nibble a little bit and we don't like it. We go get a dinner somewhere else. Or maybe there's some stuff in there we eat up and we don't even need to go get dinner. We'll have some cocktails and stuff in there. Robin, that's what we did. We went in. We had some rice. There was some jambalaya that was actually pretty good. We each got a cocktail. And we had a nice free meal at the lounge with a nice little tip to the lady. And we walked out. So now you're saying we played. We ate at Dave Burke on points. We ate at the lounge and just tipped. So we're like, $5 down, we drank and we ate, and we're ready to have a night on the town here.
And I hope they realize he realized how good of a place David Burke was. I mean, you're not just taking him through. You're styling and dialing here.
Robin, he looked at me and he's like, I feel so uncomfortable here, and I'm like, why do you feel uncomfortable? He's like, I haven't been to a restaurant like this in years. Because we're sitting at the bar, Dave Burke, like, restaurant like this in years. He's like, no. He's like, normally, I'd eat the pizza place or, the California pizza kitchen. He's like, when I go with my wife, we don't go to eat at a place like this. Maybe once in a while, but not, at the casino or anything. They'll eat at Guys or, they eat at Guys on the floor there or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he was like, he doesn't do this. So he really enjoyed, sitting, because I told him, he's like, you're not going to have to dress up, but, don't dress in basketball shorts here. We're going to be going to some nice places. So,
that's the best place, really. Best place at Fox was.
We had a nice time there.
Agree on that. So,
and actually, the lounge is a little fun too. We had a lady with her little dog in a stroller walked in and sat at the table next to us. There's a little I don't even know the name of the dog, but the dog's name was Costa. Little dog Costa. He was a little cutie there. We pat him. And comically, we were walking in, and there was the host that was checking everyone in was trying to jam out to the music, right? Mm-hmm. And then some guy walks by, and she's like, hey. She's like, can somebody turn this music up? I'm dying out here. She's like, I want to dance a little bit. I'm trying to have some fun. So we go inside. We're laughing. Robin, when we left the bar, we left the lounge, kicked the door open, go to out. Guess what's going on? The music's blasting, and guess who's dancing? She got her wish, and she gave us the little finger guns like I told you. Jamming out behind the bar. I don't know what was, maybe some Madonna was on or something, but she was having a good time there. So vibes are good. Vibes are going great. And then we went to play some video poker, Robin, because I had that great time. And my buddy Pat, he ended up being even on his video poker. And we did what we were talking about. He had a couple hands. What we were doing is we were going back and forth because we're trying to, get some cocktails. We're trying to prolong our winnings, so he doesn't really know strategy for video poker. Not that I knew it too well either, but he was playing jacks or better, and he would do a hand. I'd play a hand. We watch mine. Oh, you know what? We'll do this because of that. And then if we have a hand that, oh, what should we do there? I don't know. Let's take out the calculator, see how you should play your hand. So we were almost doing a wining, dining, video poker learning session together there.
Yeah, and you were taking your time and really enjoying yourselves. I think, it's great. It's great that you were doing that for him. This could be a big thing for you.
And it might be a big thing for him because he was like, I'm really having a fun time here. And he goes up with his wife, and I guess, him and his wife go up. She likes playing, so it's not as if he goes up and he doesn't play. But he was like, we come up here. He's like, I'll bring $200. We'll lose it in 20 minutes. He's like, she'll be running from machine to machine. He's like, it's nice to sit and relax and have a drink, And I'm like, exactly. That's really how you got to slow down. The casino wants you to go 100 miles an hour, and sometimes you want to go 100 miles per hour. But to consciously, slow down, put the car in first or second gear for a little bit. Let's enjoy the scenery. Let's look at the beautiful trees over here, the mountains, the video poker machine, my gin and tonic. And actually, I should have tested it because I was at the video poker bar at the Pequot side now, and I ended up getting a beer. So I didn't test the $1 upcharge on the scotch over there. I regret that, actually.
Okay, yeah.
So we did some hopping around slots. We went to the Cedars side, went for a walk. So then, Robin, we're like, he wants to play some craps. So we go to the craps tables. They're packed. And they're only open on the Pequot side.
Had he played craps before?
Never played, never threw the dice, none of that, Robin. So I've been dying to get that beginner's luck with me, not to, exploit my friends that haven't played before. But I would love to play with them. But, it was one of those things where they were on a Friday. You just couldn't get on a table, and especially the way we want to get on is either I buy in for both of us, and he has enough room to be up in front and see the game mechanics, or we both buy in. He plays a pass line and then I do a bunch of bets and explain to him.
What was the minimum?
I believe there was a couple 10s packed. And mostly 15s. It was mostly the ones that were open were 15s, but I believe there was a couple. You could always tell the $10 table because it's the one where it's totally like a New York subway car. Everyone's cramped in there. Yeah. Where I was like, there's a nice one, but it was 15.
Not bad. That's not bad though for a weekend night.
No, it wasn't bad at all. But on a $200 bankroll, a $15 craps table could be a horror movie for my poor friend. That's why he was like, well, let's go. I was like, look, this is gonna sound crazy. But let's continue our casino stroll. Let's go to the high limit and see what's going on at the Pai Gow tables in there. Because, it's a $25 table, and I know it sounds like it costs more than a $15 craps table, but in the long run, we're gonna have a lot more playtime at a $25 Pai Gow table if they're 25 and not 50 on a Friday night. So we took our stroll, high limit. The 25, we say, all right, look, let's go to the high-limit bathroom here. We'll regroup. We'll each, get ourselves ready to go sit down at the table. So we have our discussion on the way there. And he's like, I don't know if I feel comfortable, $25 a hand, because he had brought $200, but, he played some tips. We lost a little bit of money on the slot machine. So he really had $100 that he was like, I could play with $100, I guess. So I said, you know what? Instead of me just playing and you standing there, why don't you buy in for your $100 and we'll just see what happens? So he's nervous, Robin.
Well,
a $25 hand table with $100. That's not a lot of leeway for problems here.
No.
But what he learned, the beauty of Pai Gow, is you need to know nothing. So when we got there, we had a nice dealer. I wish I wrote his name down. Did I write it down? No. We had a great dealer who could see that my friend Patty Peanuts didn't know what was really going on because I was explaining to him. So he said, look, he's like, what I could do is I'll just give you the little houseway tile here. So no matter what you do, even if you screw it up, we're going to set it the houseway for you. So you can't screw up. So he looks at me and he's like, what? He's like, so no matter what I do, they're going to make my hand the perfect way to play it. And I said, yes. I said, that's the beauty of the Pai Gow table is.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the great things by Pai Gow.
The guy to your left, the guy to your right, they're not going to get mad at you at all. When you get the houseway tiler, you do something wrong, the dealer in the house doesn't get mad at you at all because their advantage is in the commission you pay when you win. There's no other worry for you. So he said, all right, he plays, Robin, We played in the high limit for like 3 hours. And on his $100
Nice.
bankroll, he walked out even. I didn't win. I didn't turn out so well, but he walked out even after 3 hours. We were having high-end scotches, high-end drinks. I had a hot chocolate. I had a cappuccino. I was like a kid on Christmas in there. And one thing I do have to say, though, I got a water, Robin, and I don't think it was a Fiji water. I don't want to complain, but I got a water, and it was just a regular Foxwood bottled water. So I don't know if that's a cost-cutting measure. The Fijis are going in the high limit, or maybe, they were running low or something happened, but I didn't get my Fiji this time around.
I was just about to ask you if you had your Fiji water, because I know you like that.
No Fiji, and then I asked for a sparkling water, and in the lounge they gave me a little Perrier. I think I got a little Pellegrino in the lounge. I got a soda gun seltzer in the high limit, and I got to tell you, not to complain, it had like a chemically cleaning agent taste or something. It didn't, it wasn't like a sparkling water. It was like you could tell it came out of the soda machine, and it just had some sort of funky taste to it. So I didn't even drink it. I had to say, you know what?
Ooh.
I'll take a water, and I was thinking I was getting my Fiji, and I didn't get the Fiji.
Yeah.
So,
but I was just gonna say that it's good that I'm really glad that happened to your friend, because we went once, and I think it was a 4 times multiplier, and didn't we play there like for 4 hours, and they had raised it to $50 a hand.
Yes,
and we lasted pretty much. I mean, I think I made $200, and I only had a $400 bankroll. So that's one of the nice things about Paigo,
And if you get a good table, like it's like a craps. There's the similarity to craps is that everyone can play together because you're rooting for that dealer to have a bad hand. So we had a nice couple that was playing at the table with us. They were playing like pretty good money actually, like $100, $200 a hand. And then we had a lady with a mullet, some country lady with a mullet playing 2 hands. And Robin, we were yucking it up, having a good time, and I do my "Let's Go Push" chant. Everyone loves that. Let's go push. I do that when I have the terrible hands. So we were laughing, slapping 5, and the dealer was having some real terrible. The dealer had some really good hands, but the dealer had some hands where we all were winning together. Those hands were, oh my king high, oh my God, everyone wins, and we all were slapping 5s. It was really, a wonderful, wonderful time at the Paigo table. So we end up, at this point, it's like 1 a.m. here. So what we timeline wise, he got there around 5 or 6. We were probably at Burke at 6:37. We probably went to play Paigo at like 8 or 9 o'clock. So you're saying it was after midnight, probably 1 a.m. And if I prolong it here. So
you really packed in a lot in a small amount of time. I mean, he really got his money's worth, so to speak.
Oh,
I mean,
we're not done. We're not done.
Oh,
so
no, there's more.
Here's another development. So we're like, and we ate at the lounge, but we didn't eat, a feast at the lounge. We had enough to like tide us over, but we were having all these cocktails playing. So the Dunkin' Donuts was open. It was like 1 a.m., maybe a little closer to 1:30. So a security guy walks by, and I'm like, hey, what would be the best place if you were me to get something to eat at this hour at Foxwoods? Because last time I was there with my buddy Matt, there was nothing open. We ate at the vending machine. So,
yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So big news, Fuddruckers was open, Rob, until 2 a.m.
Oh, that's great.
So we get in the line at Fuddruckers. No joke, they closed the gate like 2 minutes after we get there, right?
Nice timing.
Robin, they had people trying to break in the gate. They were coming in the exit door. It became like a big scene at Fuddruckers. They had to have somebody guard the door because people kept sneaking in and joining the line. It was really unbelievable. And then we had this other guy here. He was like this tall guy. He was like, he was actually from right around where we grew up. We didn't know the guy, but it was comical because he was in there and all his friends. They must have been doing something else, So he came in. He's like, man, I'm starving. He's like, oh, my boys, they want to keep playing. He's like, forget that. I'm here to have food. I'm driving home tonight. I need something to eat, Robin, all his friends are at the gate. It's like it was like some sort of attraction at a zoo. They're all there like a prison cell looking in and ready to strangle their friend because he was like, sorry. He's like, I told you to come eat with me. He's like, they shut the gate on you. And they were like, well, what are we going to do? He's like, go check the pizza place. You go to Dunkin' Donuts, get an egg sandwich. He's like, because I'm getting my Fuddruckers burger here. And he wanted a milkshake. Spoiler alert, the milkshake machine was broken when he ordered Robin. We ordered a food. I was like, what's going on? He's taking a while there. He was like, oh, man, the machine's broken. He got this big to-do about the milkshake machine. So we got our burgers. I got a dog, Rob. For the first time ever at Fuddruckers, I got a big dog.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, how was that?
It was actually good. I got the chili dog, I forgot what else we got. It was mostly that. I got the chili dog. I think that I had seltzers in the room. My buddy got a nice beverage. And we went up to the room. We ate our chili dog. And you know what my friend kept telling me, Robin? Pai Gow. He was like, me and my wife, he's like, I'm telling you. And I think he had a revelation because he's like, me and my wife, we'll put $100 at the roulette table. He's like, we lose that in 2 minutes. He's like, we play roulette all the time. He's like, $100, it's gone. He's like, I can't believe I sat for $100 in the high limit, getting served nice cocktails. Everyone was nice to me. The dealer wanted me there. You know, sometimes you get to like the roulette, the dealer could be like a zombie, rolling the ball, no more bets, distracted.
Yeah. No personality, yeah.
Where when you're, for some reason, I've never had really a bad dealer at the Pai Gow table in the Pequot Tower. And maybe it's the nature of the game a little bit because of the pace of it, but he was so won over, Robin. The next morning he was leaving at like 7:30. He was going to a little beach house that him and his wife was meeting at. He woke up. I woke up. You know what he said when he was getting out of bed, Robin? Pai Gow.
Yeah.
He was like, I can't believe how fun Pai Gow was.
You've turned him into another Pai Gow person. That's just great.
So he walked out of there he brought $200. He walked out of there with over half his bankroll. He ate, he wined and dined, played Pai Gow in the high limit for hours, and left with $100 because he cashed out with $100 after the thing. So I don't know how much else he had in his pocket, but he left with at least half his bankroll for the trip on a Friday night at Foxwoods. We played everything we wanted to. We didn't play some craps, but we played video poker. We played some slots. We played hours of Pai Gow, $25 a hand, and we all had a blast. And he was able to make enough points. So he looked at his card and he was like, you know what? Next time I come here, I can get some coffees for my wife. I actually made some points this time because normally they go and get wiped out so quick they don't even have any points barely.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, remember, you can call Vito and with a $200, get to enjoy and learn casino gambling.
Oh, yeah. And actually, Robin, before we get out of there, I still have the hotline. I should plug the hotline. If you want to call, leave a message, and I'll play it on the show. You can call the hotline 1-747-Casino-1. You call in. Maybe it's a question for Robin about video poker. Maybe it's a question for me. Maybe it's a comment. Send them in. So, Robin, I did have a discussion the other day. I was talking with Tim from A Better Life, right?
Yep.
So I forgot when we were talking. I think I was on a video thing with him, and he was saying he's disappointed in me, Robin, because
why is that?
I never talk about my old pal Seneca. You remember Seneca?
Oh,
We've been doing these episodes, and I forgot about Seneca. Normally, I bump into him at the grocery store. We talk all the time. And my pal Seneca, he always tells us that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, Robin. And what?
I'm so glad you weren't going to ask me what he's...
No, I remember. And today we did it. We prepared to, dabble in video poker. We have our resources that we can do so we can play it smart and have a good time. And in my opinion, we kind of, with this trip report, our last trip report, we're kind of getting ready to go back to the casino now that COVID's dying down, Delta variant aside here, where you could go with a couple $100 and have a good time and, not lose all that stimulus money and not lose all that money you saved by not going out, but have a nice evening that might be the equivalent of going to your local bar for dinner or something with your wife.
Absolutely. It's time.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know what it is, Robin. I don't know if it's that the Altastrada's opening up and that Prosciutto and Arugula pizza. I don't know if it's that. I got a buddy who bought in for $100 and played Pai Gow for 3 hours. But I got a funny feeling that between me, you, Patty Peanuts, Matt the non-casino enthusiast, me banging my microphone, all the podcasts out there, hey, maybe we'll have a Gamblepalooza. Oh, side note, rumor has it there might be a Fargo Poker this October, Robin. I'll keep you posted. So we might have a big Fargo Poker event if things keep going in the right direction, corona-wise here. But I got a funny feeling between me and you, the Mohegans, the Pequots, everyone in Atlantic City, Vegas, all the podcasting people out in the whole world. I got a funny feeling that together we're going to make luck happen.